don't have glasses, that's what I don't have. Okay, we're gonna go up and down the aisles. Haley, start off, just read the first sentence to us.
Pep rallies serve several purposes. They give team support and they give students a sense of togetherness.
Oh, you're reading off of the second sheet of,
Is it this one? Number one.
yeah,
Okay. Bruce Wayne will turn 80 in 2019.
okay, now, what catches your attention based on what we've talked on about so far? Well, the thing that catches my attention is the word 80. But it's not coming right in front of a noun, so we're not going to pay attention to it. All right, number two, hey,
The tort recipe required a cup of almonds.
okay. Let's see here. I think I figured something. Underline a cup of. Okay, yeah, I gotta put one more notation up here. There are things that are called, can't you see? I wonder if, that's kind of a glare on that board. I don't know if you can see this. That's not any better. They're called pre-articles. Let's see here. You know what, we're just gonna put that there. I'm going to go up and make a copy of this list of words for you, so you don't have to write them all down. But a cup of is a pre-article, and you'll understand that when you get the sheet. Let's see here. Maybe I should be sitting in front of the screen. This is, okay. Number 3, please, Annabeth.
Kwanzaa celebrates the heritage of African Americans.
Let's see. What's that?
Is the heritage of the article?
No, actually, what we got going here is, okay, what's the verb?
Celebrates.
Who's celebrating? Or what's celebrating? And what does Kwanzaa celebrate? Okay, so the word that we do want to take note of is the word the, which is a definite article. And of course, we would put that, as I said earlier, we'd put it right under heritage, like it were as if it were an adjective. Now, again, the definite article is going to answer the question, which one? Which heritage? The heritage. Okay, number 4, Maddie.
Smartphones outsell all other media now.
Okay. Use your intuition to identify something that might be relative to what we've talked about. Okay, well, actually, forget about that sentence. We can account for everything in there based on what we knew before this lesson tonight. 5, Chastity?
A Cat in a Hat uses a vocabulary of 225 words.
Okay, now there is something there.
The 225.
That's correct. Okay, and what noun does it come in front of?
Words.
Yeah, and so see, we listed that. All that's a determiner. It's a number before a noun. Okay? Now, we're simply going to list it under words on a slanted line, just like all of these things, all these determiners, they're going to be diagrammed just like an adjective. Let's see here. Samantha.
No comics, craft, ballets of abuse like the Three Stooges.
Okay. The word no. And we haven't accounted for that yet.
What about free in front of Stooges?
Oh, okay. Well, yes and no. Now, we're not going to put, it is a number appearing in front of a noun, Stooges, but have you ever seen the Three Stooges by any chance? Okay, hilarious. Most women don't appreciate the Three Stooges. Oh, man, that was great fun when I was in 4th and 5th and 6th grade, rush home from school and turn on the TV. Anyway, we would consider Three Stooges to be a proper noun. As you see, both words are capitalized. Now, let's see if we can figure out how we would diagram this. What is the verb? What's the action word? Yeah, okay. What crafts? Okay, now, we're not talking about a thing like a comic book here. We're talking about actors who are comedic, being the Three Stooges. So comics craft, what do they craft? Ballets. Now, as those of you how many of you younger people even have ever heard of the Three Stooges? Okay. You have?
Yeah.
Okay. Who hasn't heard of the Three Stooges? All right. Now, as you know, if you've seen the Three Stooges, it's slapstick comedy, a lot of movement and interaction, like in a ballet. Now, obviously, it's far from what we would consider a ballet, but in terms of slapstick comedy, it could be equated with ballet. So no comics, craft, ballet. Ballet would be the direct object. Now, what kind of ballet are we talking about? Ballets? Okay. So of abuse would be a prepositional phrase, yeah, telling you what kind of ballets we're talking about. Ballets of abuse.
What would you do with like?
Well, that's where we are. We're getting to that. Like the Three Stooges. Now,
Is that to what extent they're crafting it?
well, you're on the right track. I would consider it more how. How is it crafted? Crafted like the Three Stooges. That, again, would be a prepositional phrase. Like is a preposition. And it would go under craft as an adverb telling how. Okay, so, other than the point that Chastity noted very,
On number 5.
very nicely, 3 was the only thing, well, no. No also, I can't remember how we would identify that, but no would go under comics, like it's an adjective, but it's not really an adjective. Huh? Yeah, it would go under
Can we
comics.
go back to 5 for a second?
Yeah,
Article A before vocabulary,
okay. Verb,
uses,
who uses or what uses?
cat in the hat,
Okay, Cat in the Hat uses what?
vocabulary.
Okay, and then you would put under vocabulary. Vocabulary is a direct object. And where would we put of 225 words? What is it describing? Right, so we would put it as a preposition, say, of words with the number 225 on the diagonal line under words. All right? Should we go on, or are there other issues you want dealt with?
So we can go.
Okay. Let's see, I meant to say Sarah last time, but I said Samantha, so we're bouncing back. It's your turn to read a sentence.
My turn. The oil industry's misjudgments have scarred Alaska deeply.
Okay. We haven't dealt with this yet, but underline the word industries. And we're leaving it at that because I want to put some notes up before we go back to that. Okay, number 8, Beth?
Stephen Jay Gould's books address the question of evolution.
Okay, again, underline Stephen Jay Gould's. Now, what's the common element in those two things you just underlined? That's right, the apostrophe S. All right. Number 9, Kelsey.
Umpires must administer the rules of the game fairly.
Okay, there's nothing to pay attention. Oh, yeah, there is. What's there to pay attention to? One little word. That's correct. The. So underline that. Now, you know what might be a good idea? You've underlined the in parentheses at the end of the sentence. Just write definite article. So you get used to using and familiarizing yourself with these various types of determiners.
I know we're not doing it right now, but when we are doing these and diagramming them, do we have to somehow put that on there, that that's an article? Or is it just so we know what they are?
Yeah, you're never gonna get into a situation in grade school where the only thing you guys are gonna deal with is subject, verb, direct object, indirect object. You're not gonna deal with object complement. You will deal with subject complements. And you'll deal with like adjectives and adverbs. But yeah, you don't have to.
It's just knowing that they go underneath it or where, okay.
Correct, yeah. Because whoever makes up the textbooks you use, just like this guy, he makes up sentences relative to the particular lesson that's under consideration. And when you're teaching it, that you'll have textbooks that do the same thing. They'll limit the kinds of sentences to what you're trying to teach the kids. Okay. Ann, I believe you're up. Wait a minute, did I deal? Yeah, I did, the word the. Okay, Go ahead, Ann.
Okay, umpires must administer the rules of the game.
No, we just did that
We
one,
just
didn't we?
don't, so my intended. My father's surgeon locked herself into a plastic chair. She listened to my father, to Dad's complaint.
Okay, what's the first thing you see that should be underlined?
Result.
Fathers. Okay. I heard somebody say herself, yes, that should be underlined. Two other things in the she, yes, and, that's correct, good. Okay, let's stop, huh? Yep, that's right, we should underline that. Okay, now, we've done 10. Well, first of all, did we underline anything in sentence number 1? Okay, what did we underline in 2? Okay, in parentheses at the end of that sentence, put pre-article. Now, we are putting a label, we're putting the determiner label on the thing that we underlined. That's what we're doing right now. Okay? What about in the next sentence? And what is the? It's the definite article, yes. I don't believe we underlined anything in 4. 5, we underlined. Okay, and we're going to put number before noun at the end of that sentence. Number before noun. Okay, now we go on to, what do we underline in 6?
No.
And something else, right? Well, yeah, okay, we underlined no. I don't know, I got to look at the book and see what he, what we're going to call that. It's not that big of a deal. And again, I compliment Chastity on noting the 3 in front of Stooges. But we already explained that. We're going to leave that as a proper noun. 7, we underlined industries. I'm going to give you the label for that. It's called genitive, Genitive, genitive. Genitive. What are you laughing at?
She's being a teacher,
I
she
started
used to
to
have
spell
kids.
it for her.
Okay, obvious, I think that was it, wasn't it, in that sentence?
That is all we underlined.
Yeah, okay, Stephen J. Gould's, that's also going to be genitive. Anything that is apostrophe S is called genitive, and you'll find out here in a bit what that means. Okay, number 9, I think we just had, well, we had 2 thes there. So we'll underline both of those, and it's the definite article. Damn, I look old. I don't feel anywhere near as old as that guy looks in that. When I'm not looking in a mirror or at a screen, I feel as old as I looked when I had my high school graduation picture.
It's the truth. Inside you feel the same, it's just
Yeah.
a mirror that tells a different story.
Oh, boy, it's shocking sometimes, especially in the morning. Anyway, okay, we've got we've got fathers, we've got herself, we got she, and we got dads. Well, we got a big space to fit all that into.
Genitives and personal pronouns.
Okay, in this order, my is a personal pronoun. You know what? Well, you wrote it down. But you could abbreviate it, PPP. Personal pronoun. Can I erase? Possessive. Whose father are we talking about? My father. That's possessive. Okay, and as Beth said, father's is genitive. That's correct. Herself is reflexive. What do we call,
He is personal pronoun.
okay, in what case? Yeah, so we would say PPN, personal pronoun, nominative. It's the subject of this second sentence here. Then we've got dads, that's genitive, and that takes care of that, correct?
Yes.
All right, now, let's go ahead and diagram these together. I ask the questions, you give the answers, and we all diagram according to what we hear. Black marker. Okay. Haley, read us the first sentence.
Bruce Wayne will turn 80 in 2019.
All right. Let's see how far this thing will move. Where's it plugged in? Can you hold that for a minute? Just put it right down there. Okay, good. Now, this thing will, I can erase each one of these sentences, right, Ann? Because it will have recorded it.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. Bruce Wayne will turn 80 in 2000 and what?
19.
Okay. What is the action word?
Will turn.
That's correct. Now, Haley, who will turn?
Bruce Wayne.
What will he turn? Now, question. You mean he's going to pick up two wooden numbers and turn them around? He's going to pick up an 8 and a 0 and turn them? No. So that's not an action word. That is a linking verb. Like Bruce Wayne will become. So we've got a subject complement. 80, that is a noun. It names something. It names a number, in this case, of years. So this would be a predicate nominative. Now, when is he going to turn 80?
In 2019.
There's our adverb answering when. Okay, any questions? All right, we go on to number 2. Kaylee, you're up.
The tort recipe required a cup of almonds.
Let's see, verb,
Required?
correct. Is that past tense, required?
Yes.
Who or what required?
Recipe.
What what did the recipe require?
A cup.
Okay,
It'd be almonds, wouldn't it?
oh, wait a minute, you're right, it would be. Required almonds. So that's a direct object, here's our verb. That's a, one place transitive verb, here's our subject. Now we can start filling in the blanks. Okay, what kind of recipe are we talking about? Okay, two things. Here's our definite article, the and tort. In this case, tort is a noun, but it's acting like an adjective telling you what kind of recipe. I'll repeat again that in isolation, outside of a sentence, a word will always be able to be identified as a particular part of speech. But once it gets into a sentence as being used, it can function like some other part of speech. Do we know anything about when, where, why, how, to what extent, or under what condition of required? What do we know about almonds? Okay. Correct. Now, we're going to put all of that on one line. And what adjective question does this answer? That's correct. How many or how much? A cup of almonds. Now, this, again, we call this a pre-article. These pre-articles, wait, is that what we call it? Yeah,
Yes.
pre-article. These pre-articles often come in phrases like that. A cup of, some of, not much of. Okay, have we accounted for everything in that sentence? Annabeth, whenever you're ready.
Kwanzaa celebrates the heritage of African Americans.
Okay, is this the one? Oh, yeah, we only had the, didn't we? Verb,
Celebrate.
subject,
Kwanzaa.
direct object,
Heritage.
this is a one-place transitive verb, just for fun. It's in the present tense. It's a declarative sentence, and there's no aspect, right? Right. Okay, we don't know anything about Kwanzaa. What do we know about heritage?
Of African Americans.
Yeah, we know it's the heritage, and we know it's heritage of, now, African Americans both capitalized, correct?
Yes.
So it's a proper noun, so it goes there. You don't put African under the word Americans. Okay, Maddie?
Smartphones outsell all other media now.
I didn't really hear that.
Sorry, smartphones outsell all other media now.
Okay, what's our verb?
Outsell,
Who or what outsells?
phones,
Phones outsell what?
media.
All right, now let's start filling in the blanks. What phones are we talking about?
Smartphones,
What do we got under media? Does it say all other?
Go under media?
Mm-hmm.
Would they be separate?
No, I don't think so. I'm gonna call it a pre-article. Don't ask me why. Article.
And then now would go under outsell, right?
It would. Adverb telling you when. You know, you could separate them or leave them like that.
Okay.
We don't want to get too ridiculous here. We're already too ridiculous, right? Okay, Chastity, your turn.
The Cat in the Hat uses a vocabulary of 225 words.
Verb,
Uses,
right?
the Cat in the Hat,
Okay, and what does the cat in the hat use?
words. Is it words or vocabulary?
Well, let's think about it. All right, read the sentence again.
The Cat in the Hat uses a vocabulary of 225 words.
Okay, you see that small word of? All right, that tells you, that's a preposition. So any noun following that is going to be the object of that preposition. It's vocabulary.
Okay.
And what kind of vocabulary? Well, it's a vocabulary of words. I don't really know if there's another kind of vocabulary or not, but one made up of words. But grammatically, that's the way this thing plays out. And of course, 225 is a determiner. It's a number before the noun words. Okay, Samantha.
No comics, craft, ballets of abuse like the Three Stooges.
Verb,
Craft,
subject.
comics,
What gets crafted? Comics craft what?
ballet,
Yep. What kind of ballets?
ballets of abuse.
And how are these crafted?
Like the Three Stooges.
And we put no under here. What number was that?
6.
Jeez, we're on 6. Now, haven't we already diagrammed some of these? Did we diagram 7, 8, 9, or 10? Okay. I thought I saw people diagramming these as we were going along. Okay. Beth,
The oil industry's misjudgments have scarred Alaska deeply.
verb,
Have scarred,
2 R's.
yes.
We're pausing here. Have, present tense, declarative. And we got past participle, form of the verb have, we got aspect here.
Perfect.
Perfect, that's correct. What else? This is gonna be a transitive verb. Who or what have scarred?
Misjudgments.
Misjudgments have scarred what?
Alaska,
Does it say Alaska or Alaskas?
says Alaska deeply.
There it is. Alaska is the direct object. To what extent has the misjudgment scarred?
Deeply.
That's correct, that's an adverb. You may recall that I made the comment at some point that any word that ends in the suffix ly is an adverb. We come back to misjudgments, and we have the word the, oil, and industries.
So it'd be the
It-
industries and oil goes under.
Ah, very good. There it is. Okay, now, Samantha, when you're finished there, are you ready for me to erase this? All right. Read us, what is it, 9?
Umpires must administer the rules of the game fairly.
Herb?
Administer.
Put the word must
Must
in there
administer.
too. Who must administer?
Umpires,
And what must umpires administer?
the rules.
Okay, so now we've identified the major, we've got a subject, we have a transitive verb, which is in the present tense. It's a declarative mood. Nope, it's not. Must is a conditional auxiliary. And it's also, that's in the present tense. So we've got conditional. Now, the fact that they must do it doesn't mean that they're going to do it. There's uncertainty there. That's not, it's not a declaration of fact. So they must administer, no aspect, rules, direct object. Back to the umpires. We know anything about the umpires? Does it say the umpires? No. Okay. What do we know about rules? What kind of rules? Okay, the rules.
Of the game.
Uh-huh. Of game. The. Is that all there is?
Fairly is how they
Yeah,
administer.
that's correct. Again, we see the suffix, the adverb suffix on that word. Kelsey? Is this 10?
Yes. Yeah, we skipped 8.
We skipped 8? Okay, do 8.
Stephen Jay Gould's books address the question of evolution.
Okay, what's the action?
Address.
Stephen Jay Gould's books address, okay. What addresses?
Books.
What do the books address?
Question.
Questions?
Just question.
Huh?
Just question.
Oh, question. Okay, whose books are these?
Stephen.
Or which books? Yep, so we can go here. Stephen J. Gould's. Stephen Jay Gould's books address
The question of evolution.
the question of evolution. Questions on that one? Kaylee, whenever you're ready, we're going to have you read 10 to us. Did I erase that too fast?
Okay, it says, my father, surgeon,
Oh, yeah. We'll take one sentence at a time. Go ahead.
wait, what?
Read the first sentence.
Oh, my father, surgeon, plopped herself into the plastic chair.
What's the action?
Plastic chair, sorry. Want
What's-
me to read it again?
Excuse me?
Do you want me to read it again?
No, just tell me what the verb is.
No, I don't know, I'm all like,
Well, read it again. I heard one word that's an action. There it is. Who plopped? Did the surgeon plop anything? Okay. So now we've got a subject, we've got a transitive verb that's in the past tense. It's a declarative sentence. Herself, that's a direct object. We recognize it as a reflexive pronoun. Where did she plop herself?
Into chair.
Oh, does it say into a plastic chair? Okay. Okay, which chair? A chair. What kind of chair? Plastic chair. Okay, excuse me. Now we're going back to notes. And question.
Would my father's go under surgeon?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Fathers would go here. My would go here. It's my father's, not my surgeon. Oh, we got the second part of that to deal with too, don't we? Okay. Now, this is kind of a precursor, what do you call it? A harbinger, a precursor, an omen, those are all more complicated words than I'm looking for. A hint of what's coming up next in the following chapters. Where, see, these are two separate sentences. This one ends with a period, and then a new one starts. But we're going to get to the point where we'll have two diagrams, and there's only a period at the end of the second one. Second sentence, Emma, is?
She listened to Dad's complaints.
Okay, verb.
Listen.
Who listened? Now, that's a pronoun. Who does she refer to in the first sentence? That's correct. Remember, a pronoun takes the place of a noun. She listened. What did she listen to? Put to with listened. Okay, listen to, she listened to complaints, right? And whose complaints were they? And does that take care of all the words? There it is, we did it. See the logical connection between the second sentence and the first is the use of this pronoun in place of this noun. Now, the kids you teach in elementary school would be inclined to say this, and then they'd use the same noun again. Pronouns allow a sophistication of expression. It gets boring and tedious to hear the same noun used over and over and over again. Just like it's tedious in elementary to string ideas together with the word and. You listen to a little kid come home from school. I ate lunch, and then we did this. And. Well, that's all they can manage at that point. Okay, good. Now we're going to finish off tonight, and we'll be out of here at 6:30. I want to give you the other points in this chapter, the first of which we've already mentioned. That's the genitive. Let's see. We've noticed that genitive shows ownership shows ownership. The way you can show ownership in English is by apostrophe S or by the word of. Now, in that last sentence, look at that last sentence we just dealt with. She listened to Dad's complaints. Now, it could also say, she listened to the complaints of Dad. Same thing. All right, so I don't want to get any more complicated than that.
That's like number 9, rules of the game. Instead of then
The game's rules, yeah. What's the other point here? Post noun modifiers. You know what, I think you don't have to do anything, we've done enough, and we'll deal with the rest of these sentences, so don't fiddle with any of the rest of them until we get back here on Tuesday. And then I will give you those sheets I told you I was gonna give you. Okay, good work tonight. Boy, you guys are impressive. You're making connections like you just did. Oh, that would be just like this. Thank you.